So let us see those features by which we get to know that whether a country is really federal, does they follow federalism, or it is just, there are many countries, which they declare themselves to be federal on papers, but they do not follow, and they are not. At the same time, there are various countries which never mention anywhere that they are federal or they follow federalism, but in practical, they do follow federalism. Are you getting it? So how to differentiate? Just by reading papers and all that is being mentioned, we cannot come to the conclusion. Theoretically, practically, when we go and see, it's the opposite. So in such case, if we are not knowledgeable, any Tom, Dick and Harry will come and make moron of you if you are not aware that how to really distinguish between a federal country and a non-federal country. Number one feature, a country which is federal, you will find that in that particular country there are always minimum 2 or more than 2 levels of government. Minimum 2 or? Number 1, easy, that's very easy. More than 2 I said, I did not say 3, 4, 5. So minimum is 2 and more than 2 means it can go to n depending upon various countries. Number 2, now see, today we are living in Assam, right? This is what? Abhaipur. It comes under town committee. Okay. So this area comes under town committee. For example, okay, we have chairman of town committee, but Abhaipur comes in Assam. Assam is a state. Assam is in India. India is a country. Now, the question is, town committee of this area has set down some various rules, regulations or guidelines. Assam state government has got some certain guidelines. Our central government has got some certain rules and regulations. Now I being one, which one shall I follow? I am residing in Abhaipur. Shall I follow the rules and regulations laid down by this town committee of Abhaipur? Or shall I follow the policies of Assam state government or the rules and regulations of our country, Indian constitution? Which one shall I do? Because I being one citizen, but there are different levels of government. What to do now? Now see, in the federal country, this different levels of government has got their own jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction? Legal authority. Area. Okay, it's clearly mentioned. Now I'll give you some of your face expression says that you did not understand. Let me give you a much more simple example. ठीक है? अब पकड़ लो, मैंने यहाँ पे क्या मुर्गी चोर किया. क्या किया? मुर्गी चोर. अब क्या मुझे क्या पूरा एकदम पुलिस पूरा टीम लेके पकड़ने आ जाएगा, मुझे हाई कोर्ट लेके जाएगा पूरा मुर्गी चोर का केस? या फिर जो एरिया में जो गांव में पंचायत होता है ना, सरपंच, और द मैटर विल गो टू दैट पंचायत, पीपल विल कॉल, किसका मुर्गी चोरी किया, कितना बड़ा मुर्गी था, कितने के वेट कितना था, मुर्गी था मुर्गा था, उसको क्या किया, उसका तंदूरी बनाया, बिरयानी बनाया. सो दिस मैटर विल बी टेकन टू द हाई कोर्ट और इट विल बी सॉल्व इन द गवर्नमेंट इफ इट फॉल्स ऑन द पंचायत एरिया, विलेज पंचायत. कौन देखेगा मुर्गी चोर का केस? पंचायत. करेक्ट. नाउ लेट अनदर एग्जांपल. से अ पर्सन किल्ड समबडी, किसी का मर्डर किया. क्लियर? इन दैट केस व्हाट? गामरा विल कम. अच्छा, हु हैज किल्ड, हु इज द मर्डरर? आई विल सॉल्व. गामरा विल सॉल्व. Police will come and tell, excuse me sir, you take your own chair. Right? It's a case of murder, not Mugi chor. So it belongs to us. We'll take care of this. Investigation, whatever is there, as per the process. Third example, say that same person bomb blast planning कर रहा है. Our this bridge उड़ाने वाला है ना? Who will come? Police will come or CBI, CID, NIA, who will come? The matter, but who will take over the matter? Who will handle the matter? It will go to the central government department. Huh? NIA team, CID team, CBI and all, they will come. Terrorist, it is connected to terrorist activities. But the person is one. The person stays here in the village panchayat. But depending upon his activity, it is clearly mentioned which level of government will take care or will look after the case. Are you getting it? So in a federal country, it is clearly mentioned about the jurisdiction of the different tiers of government. Are you getting it? Whether it comes to legislation, whether it comes to taxation or administration, because it's one citizen, but different levels. That's why we are saying federal. So therefore, the jurisdiction is clearly mentioned in matters of legislation or taxation or administration or whatever. Clear? Number 2 point, the feature of federalism. Now you understood everybody with that example? Number 3, how do we know that whether a country is a federal country? Number 3 point is connected to 2. Why? Because in number 2 I've already told that in a federal country, the jurisdiction of the different levels of government is mentioned, clearly mentioned. Now, this jurisdiction which is mentioned about the different levels of government, that which level has got what authority, किसका कितना power है, कौन क्या case देख सकता है, it is also constitutionally guaranteed. What is constitution? I forgot. Can anybody tell me?
Sets of rules through which the country is governed.
Correct. I just wanted to check that, so that's why I said I could. Basic rules, set of rules and regulations through which a country is. Your house, I told you earlier also when we had discussed, even at home we have constitution. Don't you have rules and regulations? At this time you have to wake up. At this time you need to study. This is your lunch time, dinner time. Game, sports has got constitution, rules and regulations. School has got constitution. So I just wanted to know did you forget or do you remember? Out of so many students, only one I got answer.
So constitution means set of rules.
Yeah.
Then institution.
Constitution is set of rules. Institution means the various departments, various organizations are all institutions. School is an institution. Home is an institution. Offices are an institution. Are you getting it? Constitution, institution, it sounds similar. That doesn't mean that both are same. Institution, constitution. Okay, coming back. So, point number 3. This jurisdiction of the respective different levels of government, okay, it is specified in the constitution. Which means, once it is written in the constitution means, what? It is guaranteed. Are you getting it? Point number 3. Point number 4. Now, certain fundamental basic rules and regulation you want to change. Okay? In a federal country, if you want to make any change in the fundamental is basic. In the fundamental policies, provisions, any level of government cannot do it alone. If any level of government changes the policies by themselves alone, without discussing with the other levels of government, then that country is not a federal country. Are you getting it? Today, I am telling you that India is federal. Supposingly, say some fundamental policies, basic rules and regulations are changed by the central government without discussion with the state government, without any consent from the state government. India will no longer remain a federal country. Because when you don't discuss, when you do it by yourself alone, where comes sharing of power? That means you are taking your own decision, right? So wherever you will see any country, any changes are needed. Along with the time we need to make changes. But that changes must be done along with the consent of the different levels of government. Usually we have central and state. Clear? Any doubt? Number 5. Now, the different levels of government, in case if there is any kind of dispute, conflict with regard to this power, central government says, I have more power than state. state says, you may have more power, but that's in center. When it comes to my state, you have no right to interfere. If such kind of things arises, who will solve? Judiciary. Who? Judiciary. Means courts. Only courts in a federal country, only courts have the power to interrupt with regard to this, the powers of the different levels of government. Are you getting it? Only courts. But you see, there are various countries where the government, the central government, they decide, they take the call. But in a federal country, judiciary is independent, different organs of the government, judiciary, executive, legislature. Judiciary, court can interrupt between the different powers of the government. Are you clear? Am I clear? In fact, even courts have the power to interrupt the constitution. In a federal country. In a federal country, courts have the power to interrupt the constitution also. And also with regard to the powers. Clear? I guess most of you play cricket out here. Even if you don't play, you might have a little knowledge about cricket, right? The umpire, he does not belong to this batsman team or the fielding team. Accepted by both, whether it's the batsman team or the bowling team. Clear? So courts in a federal country act as an umpire. And especially the highest court of that particular country, like for our country, the highest court is Supreme Court, right? So for our country, this Supreme Court is the umpire when it comes to different fight between the different levels of government. And what Supreme Court says, whether it's central government or any state government or local or whatever, they will have to accept it. And this, you will find this feature, like mobile phone 50 megapixel camera, this night vision camera, this feature you will find only in a federal country. In other country you will not find it. President, like a couple of years back, I remember, I think in the year 1999 or 2000, Pakistan, the General Pervez Musharraf, he was actually a general, he was leading the army, but he took over the government, he declared himself president. Elections were held and all, but all those ministers and all, they were under the military officers, and military officers were under General Pervez Musharraf. So indirectly, who was controlling? General Pervez Musharraf. Are you getting it? So those are not federal.
Right, last year lead away.
No, he was caught. I think he's in jail or something like that. If I the story of 2000, this is 2022, 22 years back. You just Google it out, try to find, you'll get the complete. I just remember the main key points, bullet points, so I shared with you. But to make you understand what do you mean by federal and non-federal. Clear? Number 6. Now see, different levels of government, they require money. Now here, the road that is getting constructed, the bridge that is getting constructed, yes, day and night the laborers are working, but the laborers need to be paid, right? They have got their own family. So whether this construction of roads or bridges or hospitals or whatever, which is done by the different levels of government, sometimes by state, sometimes by central, sometimes even in villages, this small, schools you have, government schools and all, LP school, this school, that school. So from where does these different levels of government get money? Even the sources of revenue means earning money. The sources of earning money for the different levels of government, that is also clearly specified so that there can be financial autonomy. There must not be any dispute when it comes to finance. समझ में आ रहा है? पकड़ लो 3 बैंक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, या फिर 3 बॉक्सेस है इन अ सिंपल लैंग्वेज. बॉक्स ए, बॉक्स बी, बॉक्स. Box A belongs to central, box B belongs to state, box C belongs to local. Example, I am making a simple language, boxes I am saying. Now in box A, whatever money is there inside, whether it's a 10 rupees, 10 lakhs, 100 crore or whatever, that only the central government has got the right to take money from box A. Now say box B belongs to state. In box A there is 10 lakhs, in box B there is 100 crore. In that case, central cannot say that I am central, I am above state, so I can also take money from box B. No. Box B only state. Central का box A है ना? तो तुम्हारा वहाँ पे 10 लाख है तो मैं क्या करूँ, मेरा 100 करोड़ है तो वो मेरा है, स्टेट यूज़ करेगा, नो डिस्प्यूट, गारंटी मिल गया कि फिनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा। लाइकवाइज बॉक्सी, आई यू गेटिंग इट बॉक्सी? सो ये कहाँ पे मिलेगा, ये सिर्फ फेडरल कंट्री में ही मिलेगा ये फीचर, कि कौन सा गवर्नमेंट को कहाँ से पैसा आएगा वो क्लियरली स्पेसिफाइड। ये तो बाद में प्रॉब्लम हो, सेंट्रल बोलेगा आई एम अबव यू, बॉक्स बी में 100 करोड़ है, ठीक है, इन बॉक्स ए 10 लाख, बट आई एम सेंट्रल राइट, सो आई विल टेक सम मनी फ्रॉम बॉक्स बी। नहीं, देन इट इज नॉट फेडरल, तुम तो अपना मन मर्जी करो। Are you getting it? कल को फिर बॉक्स बी will say to box C, my money is less, so I will take from box C. No, box C belongs to local government, right? Clear? The last important feature, the most important feature of a federal country. Are you understanding? The most important features. Now see, if you see the 6 points that we have discussed, if I sum up those 6 points in one line, what do we understand? इससे हम क्या सीखते हैं, কি বুঝিব পাও? Simple language, simple ভাষা যদি মই তোমাক বুজাও, এই 6 পইণ্টৰ এটাই মিনিং আছে, কি জানা? So that we people can live in unity. এইবিলাক যে rule বনাইছে, in case of dispute, courts will interfere and courts does not belong to central state, nobody. Even revenue source is clearly mentioned, who will get revenue from where, so that there is no fight. Jurisdiction is clearly mentioned. What type of area, legislation, taxation, administration, can't into authority. So if you just think about these points, it actually means so that we can live in unity. We can. So this, the 7th feature states that to protect our unity and to promote unity. Are you getting it? Constitution, rules, regulation, why it is here? So that we must not be able to fight with one another. Clear? That's why we have these things, law and order, rules and regulations. Today, otherwise, if these things are not there, today you don't like, मुझे इसका नाक पसंद नहीं है, मारो एक नाक पे गुस्सा, क्यों? नाक पसंद नहीं था, मैंने मार दिया। Finish. If we start doing like this, तो बोलेगा मुझे इसका चूल पसंद नहीं था, मैंने इसको टकला कर दिया। Everywhere you'll find fights. The road is filled up with blood. But even मुझे इसका नाक पसंद नहीं है, मुझे इसका हेयर स्टाइल पसंद नहीं है, we have to smile. We cannot do anything. At the most we can say is what? We can say some words, but that too politely. Rules, regulation. So that we live in unity and we promote unity. Clear? Now, to live in unity, to promote in unity. Now see, when we live in unity, when we promote in, or when we try to promote unity, diversities are there. Now you people, so many of you are sitting here, different color of shirt, t-shirt, different dresses, different watch, diversities, differences. So among these diversities, our intention is we have to live with what? Unity, even though there is diversity. Now to live with unity again, there is one more thing that you have to do. Because if you don't do this thing, there cannot be any unity. That is, we must agree to some rules and regulations. Now for example, Constitution is there, right? Indian Constitution, we have our law and order, that if you do this, you'll get this punishment. Now even if there is rules and regulations, you say I will not follow. I will not follow the rules and regulations. क्या होगा? जेल पे जाएगा, फांसी देगा, मारेगा, मारो, लेकिन मैं इसका नाक फोड़ूंगा, क्यों? इसका नाक टेढ़ा है, सीधा हो गया। So if you don't accept the rules and regulation, तो कहाँ का unity होगा? So if you want unity, we have to agree to the rules and regulations. Are you getting it? At least now see, at home, you may have differences among your siblings. Brother, sister, mummy, papa, कभी कभी मम्मी पापा के साथ पापा will say wear this shirt, wear pink, you will say no, I will wear blue, right? Eat this vegetable, you will say no, I will eat that vegetable. If this thing goes on, finish, तुम तो घर पे ही नहीं रह नहीं पाओगे, right? उस घर पे ही रह नहीं पाओगे तुम। झगड़ा तो अगर वो झगड़ा नहीं करना है, I'm not saying that at the same time all accepting all the rules also, but ठीक है, we can come to a conclusion Okay, I will agree this some of the rules. You agree some of the rules. Let us be there. Right? पापा ने बोला पिंक शर्ट पहनो, तुमने बोला ब्लू. तो व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन? एक काम करता हूँ, आधा आधा काट देता हूँ, आधा पिंक आधा ब्लू. राइट? वाह, वही करोगे.
आजकल वैसे ही निकले कपड़े.
सी व्हाट आई टोल्ड इज आजकल वैसे ही कपड़ा नहीं, हाफ पिंक हाफ ब्लू. सो अल्टीमेटली जिसने बनाया वो भी वही सोच के बनाया कि चलो पापा भी खुश बेटा भी खुश. So some rules we will have to agree, then only we can live in unity. Number one. Number two, trust. If we don't have trust, we made an agreement. ठीक है, हमने एक agreement बना लिया that you have to do this, I have to do this. What if after making the agreement we don't trust in each other? क्या कर? अभी some of you came with scooty, bike and all. I know you bought bike, right? I saw. You came with bike or cycle? With what did you come? No. Bike. Acha. Now parents gave him the bike with a trust. Now if he takes the bike and then becomes in the road that nibba nibbi chapda chapdi what? अब पेरेंट्स क्या कर? पेरेंट्स ने उसको तो निब्बा करने के लिए बाइक नहीं दिया ना, ट्रस्ट करके दिया ना. सो ट्रस्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. If you want unity, if you want to protect, promote, and live, along with the diversity, even though we have diversity, but we want to live in unity, two things are important. We have to agree to some rules and regulations, both the side, and at the same time, trust. Whatever agreement we have done, we have to trust each other. सिर्फ एग्रीमेंट से नहीं होगा, ट्रस्ट बहुत जरूरी है. एग्रीमेंट तो कागज है, बॉन्ड है. तुम कागज ले जाके फाइल पर रख दो, अपना मन मर्जी करो, कौन देगा? But this is not how things work. In federal country, federalism, these two are very important. Trust between the different levels of government. Now imagine our state is having flood, पूरा flood. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से हेल्प मांगा, हमको 1000 करोड़ भेजिए, फ्लड हो गया. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने देखा कि हाँ सचमुच का स्टेट में फ्लड है, लेकिन 1000 करोड़ कुछ ज़्यादा तो नहीं मांगा. एक काम करता हूँ, 1000 करोड़ नहीं देता, 200 करोड़ दे देता, बोलता हूँ बाकी 800 करोड़ बाद में दूंगा, 200 करोड़ से मैनेज करो. Who knows? In reality, 1000 करोड़ we need. People are dying. But because of that trust issue, सेंट्रल ने अभी 200 करोड़ दे रहा. प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा ना. आई यू अंडरस्टैंड? ट्रस्ट रहना पड़ेगा. दिस सिंपल एग्जांपल, ट्रस्ट रहना पड़ेगा बिटवीन द डिफरेंट लेवल्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, अदरवाइज फेडरल सिस्टम काम नहीं करेगा. क्लियर? एम आई क्लियर विद ऑल द 7 फीचर्स? दिस फ्लड एग्जांपल क्लियर हो गया? 1000 करोड़ चाहिए, रियलिटी में 1000 करोड़ चाहिए, बट स्टेट ने मांगा, सेंट्रल बोला इतना पैसा तो नहीं चाहिए, फ्लड है लेकिन इतना तो नहीं है, 200 करोड़ देता हूँ. क्या पता सचमुच का 1000 करोड़ है, तो बहुत लोग अंदर बहुत गाड़ी हो रहा है, आदमी मर रहा है, पैसा चाहिए, लेकिन सेंट्रल ने नहीं भेजा, तब तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा ना. और ऑपोजिट वाइस वर्सा, इवन स्टेट मस्ट नॉट टेक द एडवांटेज कि जो भी बोलता हूँ सेंट्रल मांग लेता है, वी नीड 500 करोड़, एक काम करता हूँ 2000 करोड़ डिमांड करता हूँ, 1500 करोड़ का घर खरीदूंगा, गाड़ी खरीदूंगा, ये कर दूंगा, वो कर दूंगा, 500 करोड़ लगा दूंगा, बिल बना दूंगा 2000 करोड़. फ्रॉड में हमने 2000 करोड़ स्पेंड किया, ये भी नहीं होगा. दोनों को एक दूसरे को ट्रस्ट करना पड़ेगा. क्लियर? दोनों का रूल्स रेगुलेशन कुछ ना कुछ मानना पड़ेगा. दिस इज हाउ फेडरलिज्म. Am I clear? Go through these 7 important features.